2 years ago, I hit rock bottom. Literally. I was on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m. My laptop was propped precariously on the toilet lid, screen glare harsh in the dark room, as I desperately tried to finish a presentation due in 5 hours. 3 major deadlines had slammed into me that week, my relationship was fracturing under the strain, and I hadn't slept more than 4 hours a night in weeks. I wasn't just busy. I was drowning. Maybe you know that feeling. That crushing weight in your chest, that suffocating pressure like you're constantly playing catch-up and losing. Like you're the only one who can't keep up, who's somehow fundamentally flawed because everyone else seems to have it figured out. You're exhausted, overwhelmed, and feel like there's just not enough time. But what if I told you that the solution isn't what you think? What if the problem isn't actually a lack of time at all? What if I told you, you could actually accomplish more, feel calmer, and reclaim your life? And it's not about finding more hours in the day, it's about completely changing your relationship with time itself. I'm going to share something with you that flipped not just my productivity, but my entire experience of living. And trust me, this isn't the usual, wake up at 5 a.m., pep talk, or just use this fancy calendar app. This is much deeper. It fundamentally shifts how you perceive and interact with time. But first, we need to go back to that floor. Because understanding the depth of the problem is key to embracing the solution. That night, surrounded by crumpled tissues and cold coffee cups, I finally saw it. I'd been playing the wrong game. For years, I was a productivity soldier, obsessed with optimizing every second, squeezing more in. I'd read all the books, downloaded all the apps, built elaborate systems. I was the king of to-do lists and the emperor of calendar blocking. And look where it got me, broken, exhausted, staring down a pile of work that felt insurmountable. Then, like a lightning bolt, the epiphany hit me. Time isn't just a resource you manage like money or inventory. It's a relationship. A living thing you interact with. I wasn't battling time, I was fighting myself by treating time like an enemy to be conquered, rather than an ally to collaborate with. This changed everything. What I'm about to share isn't just about getting tasks done, it's about transforming that fundamental relationship. Because when you do, you unlock an ability to accomplish things that felt utterly impossible before. Okay, deep breath. Here's the first truth that most productivity gurus miss. That constant feeling of not having enough time is almost never about time itself. It's about your energy and attention. I realized I wasn't actually busy for all 16 waking hours. I was just on for 16 hours. Drifting between tasks, distracted, neither fully focused nor truly resting. Caught in this miserable, busy fog where hours vanished without either progress or recovery. This led to my first breakthrough, energy mapping. Instead of forcing my day into rigid time blocks, I started tracking my natural energy levels throughout the day. When was I sharpest? Most creative? Most analytical? When did my brain just want to scroll endlessly? Then, and this is the crucial part, I stopped fighting those cycles. My demanding writing sessions now happen during my peak flow window, usually between 7 and 10 a.m. when my mind is clearest. Emails and routine tasks get the 3 p.m. slump energy. Analytical work fits into the late afternoon focus zone. The results were insane. Tasks that used to take me 90 minutes were getting done in 45. Projects that felt like pulling teeth suddenly flowed. And that constant sense of pushing uphill. Gone. It's like finally using the right tool for the right job. Okay, but what about those weeks when you're truly buried? When there's just no way everything fits? We're taught you just push harder, sacrifice more, break yourself. That finishing everything is the only definition of success. That's where I discovered my second game changer, strategic incompletion. This one will mess with your head because we're programmed to believe not finishing means failure. But here's the revolutionary truth, intentionally leaving certain things undone can dramatically increase your overall productivity and success. I learned to sort my tasks ruthlessly into 3 buckets: must complete, should complete, and could complete. The magic happens when you give yourself permission to deliberately not do the tasks in the could category, and sometimes, even some shoulds. Remember that impossible week I mentioned earlier? The one with the massive client pitch, 3 article deadlines, a family reunion, and 20 other smaller things. My old self would have sacrificed sleep, skipped meals, and burned out trying to do all of it. This time, I looked at the list and asked, what actually moves the needle on my biggest goals? I intentionally let go of writing 1 article, negotiating a later deadline, offloaded the family reunion planning to my sister, who was surprisingly happy to help, and simply didn't do 7 minor tasks on my list. The outcome? I delivered a presentation that crushed it and landed a 6-figure contract. I wrote 2 articles that both went viral. And I actually enjoyed the family reunion without checking my phone every 5 seconds. Those 7 abandoned tasks. Honestly, most didn't matter at all. The world didn't collapse. Okay, the skeptics are saying, but what about the real, non-negotiable stuff? The hard deadlines you can't abandon. When you're up against the wall, how do you find the time then? That's where my most powerful discovery comes in. I call it time dilation. No, I'm not bending space-time. This is about manipulating your brain's perception of time. You know how when you're doing something you love, hours vanish like minutes. And when you're bored or anxious, 10 minutes feels like an hour. Research shows our perception of time isn't fixed, it's highly malleable. I learned to intentionally create conditions that trigger that flow state, making time expand when I need it most. My formula is specific, built through months of trial and error. Complete isolation, phone off, internet off unless critical. Specific instrumental music that blocks distractions. A crystal clear goal for the session written down. And the timer, 52 minutes of intense, focused work, followed by a genuine 17-minute break. When I enter this state, time expands. I consistently accomplish what would normally take me 3 to 4 hours in just a 2-hour session. It's not faster work, it's better work. Deeper, more efficient. It's like finding a hidden, high-performance gear in your brain. But you have to respect the break. That's non-negotiable. But what about the constant hum of anxiety? That tight chest feeling, the racing thoughts that tell you you're drowning in your to-do list. I used to think that anxiety meant I should be working harder, that it was a signal I was falling behind. Now I know anxiety is often just powerful energy looking for a productive place to go. And you can redirect it. This is anxiety redirection. When that familiar tightness creeps in, I don't push it away or try to distract myself. I grab a notebook. I write down everything I'm anxious about. But then, immediately, I perform the crucial twist. I ask myself, what is one single concrete physical action I can take right now to address this worry? Instead of writing, I'm worried about the huge client pitch, I write, email Sarah asking for section 3 data point X. Instead of, I'll never finish this massive report, I write just the intro paragraph right now. It's like alchemy. You're taking that heavy, paralyzing lead of anxiety and instantly forging it into the gold of action and momentum. Taking that one small step often dissolves the rest of the anxiety and actually fuels the next steps forward. With practice, you can trigger this conversion almost at will. Okay, last one, and this sounds nuts until you try it. It's called productive abandonment. This is different from strategic incompletion, choosing not to start low-value things. Productive abandonment is about intentionally stopping when you're on fire. Everything in us says, keep going, when you're in deep flow, when the ideas are just pouring out. When I'm deep in writing or problem solving. When I hit a point of high clarity and momentum. I deliberately force myself to stop working. Not when I'm stuck. When I'm in full flight. I write a quick note about exactly where I was, what I was thinking, and the very next step I was about to take. Then I walk away. Why? It creates what psychologists call an open loop in your brain. Your subconscious keeps churning, keeps working on the problem in the background. When I come back to the work later. Bang! Instant momentum. No warming up. I can start exactly where I left off with immediate clarity. And almost always, I have new insights or solutions that weren't available when I was actively staring at the screen. This has slashed my completion time on complex projects by nearly 40% and dramatically improved the quality. Look, let's be real. These methods aren't magic bullets. They require practice, customization to your unique brain and life, and a willingness to experiment. Some days they click perfectly, others feel like a grind. But collectively, they've transformed my relationship with time from one of constant battle to one of creative partnership. Remember that guy on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m.? That broken, overwhelmed version of me couldn't fathom achieving even half of what I do routinely now. Yet amazingly, I work fewer hours, I'm less stressed, and I have more time and energy for the people and activities that actually matter. The difference wasn't that I found more hours in the day. It's that I fundamentally changed how I relate to the hours I already have. So, let me leave you with this thought, and this challenge: what if your problem isn't actually a lack of time? What if it's a mismatch between how your unique brain works and the standardized, one-size-fits-all productivity methods you've been taught? What if the key to getting everything done isn't about managing the clock, but about discovering your own personal relationship with time? Try just one of these techniques tomorrow. Map your energy for a day. Intentionally abandon a low-value task that's draining you. Create the conditions for time dilation for just one session. Transform anxiety into one concrete action. Or strategically stop working at the height of momentum and see what happens when you return. Start small, but start somewhere. Because I promise you this, on the other side of that experiment lies a completely different experience of time. One where you're no longer its victim, running breathlessly behind it, but its partner in creating the life you actually want to live. And isn't that partnership, isn't that freedom, what you've been searching for all along?